Most people find the brain absolutely fascinating. Because of that, you see representations of neuroscience all over the place. In preparing for this video, some of the guidance about communicating science that we came across even represented communication as two people adorably opening their skulls so some brain substance could be launched ballistically at each other. That's metaphorical, of course, but there are many times that brain science is used among the general public to create a sense of understanding of mental health, thoughts, and emotions. Neuroscience is even used to sell things and to promote ideas. It's as though the only real way to understand what it means to be human is by looking at the brain. It turns out that, starting around 2008, researchers have been finding that adding neuroscience or brain images to a scientific reporting made people rate it better, even when the information about the brain added nothing to the science that was being talked about. This was termed the sane effect. Some more recent studies found that same thing, but others did not. So what's going on? Can irrelevant or even misleading references to the brain change how much people say they like or understand research in psychology and health? Could it convince people to change their beliefs about something, such as whether a suspect in a court case should be given the death penalty or declared not guilty for reasons of insanity? Elizabeth Bennett and Peter McLaughlin, researchers in psychology and neuroscience at Pennsylvania Western University's Edinburgh campus in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, used a meta-analysis to answer this question. Meta-analysis combines the statistics from all relevant studies, whether they found strong evidence for a sane effect or not. This research is published in the journal Public Understanding of Science. By combining the findings of 60 experiments, they found that the sane effect is indeed real, but not very strong. That is, people are slightly influenced by irrelevant neuroscience. When looking deeper, though, they found evidence that there was more than one type of effect. By adding irrelevant neuroscience to a scientific explanation, people felt more satisfied to a pretty fair degree, and that they understood the concept better, even when tests showed that they really don't. In contrast, neuroscience information was much weaker at convincing people to agree with a statement. They also found that written neuroscience material was more influential than images of the brain. Neuroscience also influences mock jurors' decisions in criminal cases in an interesting way. People were more likely to recommend against harsh sentencing, such as the death penalty, when given a neuroscientific explanation of a defendant's mental illness, compared with a psychological description. However, they were more likely to recommend incarceration. This is in line with what other scientists have theorized. Seeing mental illness as a brain disease makes it seem less changeable, and that the person is less responsible for their actions, but more in need of permanent warehousing away from the general public. Neuroscience is an amazing field and has led to new insights into treating mental illness and even influenced our understanding of ourselves. But the next time there's an out-of-place brain picture or talk of brain chemicals that feels shoehorned in, ask yourself whether there's any research behind it or if you could have understood it just fine without all the extra brain stuff. Otherwise, you may be falling for the seductive allure of neuroscience explanations.